Greetings to everyone. In this series of videos, I'm going to discuss about the second part of Unit 3, that is corrosion. And till now we have covered the part 1, which is about electrochemistry, the concepts of electricity production, different types of electrodes we have discussed. And even we covered batteries and fuel. Let's start the corrosion topic. And we are going to cover from the basics. What is corrosion? What are the causes and effects? And what are the various theories that explains the corrosion and types of corrosion? And what are the various factors that affects the corrosion? And finally, we are concluding how can we protect a metal from corrosion by various methods. We're going to cover all these topics in our syllabus in my videos. The major course objective for this unit is to identify and apply various principles of electrochemistry, corrosion, and water treatment, which are essential for an engineer in industry. After finishing this course, student can understand the fundamental principles of electrochemistry for energy production and corrosion prevention. Corrosion. I think most of you have seen rusted iron and corroded copper. Even silver gets corroded, a blackish layer on the silver ornaments or silver objects. That are the examples for the corrosion, which can be defined as the destruction of a metal or deterioration of a metal or oxidation of a metal when it reacts with the surroundings. The surroundings can be simply the air, or it can be humidity in the air, or it can be some chemicals which may be in contact with metal due to various industrial applications. So the metal destruction or deterioration, which can be chemical or electrochemical reactions, results in formation of a corrosion layer, corrosion product as a layer on the surface is what corrosion. Corrosion is a surface phenomenon. And here are the few pictures that I've given you the examples for the corrosion. You can observe. And here the metal is in contact with water partially, and here they're exposing to the moisture, and even two different metals are in contact with each other, and this is simply the exposed to the air, which is a mixture of different gases. If a metal is exposed to different conditions, as I told, it can be a moisture, it can be water, it can be air. We can expect after a few days, there will be formation of a layer, a reddish brown color layer on this metal surface, which is iron oxide. And even similarly, other metals also, a greenish layer on the copper, black color layer on the silver. All those are the best examples for the corrosion. But naturally, it takes a lot of time to undergo this reaction. And what do you feel the causes for the corrosion? You can pause the video and write down your answer and then continue the video. The major cause for a metal's corrosion is metal itself. Everybody knows that the metal is not available in the metallic form in the nature. They are available in the form of their salts, which are ores, which are stable, and they have lower energy. And they are extracted by applying some energy and by a process called as metallurgy. They're extracting a pure metal. The pure metal is unstable and high energy. But the one which is unstable can't exist for a long time. They try to convert into its stable form or low energy form, and that conversion of a pure metal into their stable salt form is called as corrosion. And the salt can be anything. It can be oxides, it can be carbonates, it can be sulfates, it can be anything. It just converts depending on the environment with which it is associated. Just converts into the respective salt form. And that conversion of metal unstable form to metal salt stable form is known as a corrosion chemically. The cause for the corrosion is metals instability. Why the study of corrosion is important? What are the effects that corroded metal may cause? Yes, it just deteriorates the machine, whatever we are using in an industry point of view, or even our domestic purpose also. It reduces the efficiency of that equipment, and the product obtained may be contaminated. In case if we use such type of metal equipments or machines in any pharmaceutical industry, that may contaminate the drug, that may contaminate the material what we are producing in our industry. So that may lead to health hazards also. And corrosion may contaminate even stored food also. Nowadays we are using different types of packaged foods, and if we don't use proper packing for that, if we use a metal which can be easily corroded to store food, that contaminates the food again. And the corrosion products may also cause us the pollution also. So in order to avoid all these problems, one must understand how the corrosion takes place and what are the factors, and then we can and you can understand how can we prevent the corrosion process. So first we'll start with the types of corrosion. So there are different types of corrosion. Basically, we can classify them into two different categories based on the mechanism of corrosion. That is the chemical corrosion and electrochemical corrosion. Even chemical corrosion can be called as dry corrosion. Electrochemical corrosion can be called as wet corrosion. Chemical corrosion further divided into different categories, that is oxidation corrosion, corrosion by other gases, and liquid metal corrosion. Even electrochemical corrosion may take place in two different mechanisms. Based on that, we can call them as galvanic corrosion and concentration cell corrosion. We'll discuss one by one so that you can understand clearly what are the different types of theories that we can use to explain the corrosion. So we'll start with dry corrosion. Dry corrosion is a metal when it is directly in contact with the environment, means only with the atmospheric gases that may contain oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, H2S, halogen, sulfur oxides. It can be any gas with which a metal is in direct contact with that atmosphere, that environment, may result in the dry corrosion. The rate of dry corrosion is very slow compared to the electrochemical corrosion or wet corrosion. So as we have seen that the dry corrosion is classified into three categories. One of it is oxidation corrosion. In the oxidation corrosion, metal is exposed into the environment where oxygen is available and the oxygen affinity towards that metal is more. So obviously that will undergo corrosion. And there is a direct contact between oxygen and the metal surface. And this, as I use the word dry corrosion, this will take place in absence of the moisture. At high temperature, all metals are attacked by the oxygen and are oxidized. And there are few exceptions, aurum, platinum and silver. And at an ordinary temperature, generally all metals attacked by the oxygen, but it is a slow process. The mechanism of oxidation corrosion, if you consider the metal as the corrosion is a surface phenomena, the metal surface which is exposed to the oxygen will react with the oxygen gas which is there in the environment and results in the formation of metal oxide layer. And the metal oxide layer will be deposited on the metal surface itself, which may be further acts as a barrier to for the corrosion, further corrosion of a metal. And there will be the inward diffusion of oxygen may take place, or outward diffusion of metal may take place here in the oxidation corrosion. If you consider the chemical reaction, this is a metal In case of chemical corrosion, there is no the terminology you should not use is anode and cathode. The chemical corrosion is a phenomena where one metal is considered and there is no moisture. So only one metal you are considering. We should not use the word cathode and anode. So here I got a metal. I just represented it with M, and it reacts with the oxygen gas which is there in the environment. First, we'll see step by step. The metal loses electrons and releases n number of electrons. Depending on the oxidation state of that particular metal, it releases n number of electrons, and that electrons are accepted by the oxygen gas which is there in the environment and then converts into oxide anion. When these two combine, metal ion, metal cation and oxide anion combine and results in the metal oxide layer. As I told, the metal oxide layer will be stick to the surface, will be on the surface of that particular metal itself. It may further act as a protective layer for the metal. Now, nature of oxide film formed may further allow the corrosion of a metal or may avoid the corrosion of a metal. So that is based on the different factors. We need to check the stability of the oxide layer. If the oxide layer formed is stable, in case of aluminum, chromium, copper, lead and tin, the layer whichever formed, the oxides of these metals are more strong and they are stable and they adhere to the surface itself. If the metal is coated with a layer, then further there is no exposure of a metal to the environmental gases. So in such a case, metal layer can act as a protective layer. So metal won't undergo further corrosion. Unstable oxide layer in case of Rm, silver, platinum, the layer formed is unstable. It just converts back into that stable form. So that still that metals may undergo exposed to the environmental condition. In such a case, it may not act as a protective layer. In case if the product is volatile, the best example is molybdenum trioxide. When molybdenum reacted with oxygen, we get a layer, but that layer is just evaporate immediately after that is formed. So in such a case, this is not acting as a protective layer. If you take any metal, though the oxide layer is stable, if that has pores, gaps in the layer formed, then in such case also the metal oxide layer will not act as a protective layer. The best example is iron when it reacts with the H2S gas. It just results in the porous FeS layer, and if as it is porous, still some area, a small area of metal is exposed to that conditions where it is exposing to. So in such a case, that will be considered as a non-protective layer. In order to check whether the further corrosion will take place or not, whether it is acting as a protective layer or non-protective layer, we have a rule called Pilling-Bedworth rule, or we can call it as a specific volume ratio. It describes the porous and non-porous nature of a metallic oxide, which is formed during the corrosion. And here the ratio is given as volume of metal oxide formed to the volume of metal. If the specific volume ratio is greater than 1 or is equal to 1, it can act as a protective layer. If that is less than 1, it will act as a non-protective layer. And the other type of chemical corrosion or dry corrosion is corrosion by other gases. Depending on the chemical affinity between a particular gas and a metal, this may lead to the formation of a corrosion product, and the corrosion product can be even act as a protective layer or non-protective layer. It just depends on the affinity between that two, the metal and the gas. And the gases can be carbon dioxide, sulfur oxides, chlorine, H2S, all different types of halogens. It can be any gas. If a particular metal has affinity towards that, that just reacts. And if the film is non-protective, it just destroys the metal. If it is protective, it avoids the further corrosion of a particular metal. And here I just gave you one example that silver reacts with the chlorine gas and form the silver chloride. And even tin. Tin can also react with the chlorine, and tin produces the SnCl4, which is volatile, and it will not act as a protective layer. This is considered as a non-protective layer. And the other type is liquid metal corrosion. This type of corrosion is found in nuclear power plants. Generally, sodium metal is used in the reactor, which leads to the corrosion of cadmium, which is used in the nuclear reactor. And this liquid metal can lead to the dissolution of solid metal, and it just penetrates into the solid metal and converts into its metallic state, stable metallic state or metal ion state, which is nothing but the corrosion. The electrochemical corrosion is the corrosion which takes place in presence of moisture. The moisture can be an acid or a base, or it can be simple water. There is a small amount of moisture which is in contact with our metal, and metal can be a single metal under different conditions, or it can be two different metals or alloys immersed in a solution, a moisture, and that leads to the electrochemical corrosion. And here we have two metals or a same metal in under two different conditions. So we have a distinction of cathode and anode. Anode will undergo oxidation, nothing but the corrosion, whereas cathode will undergo reduction, nothing but it can be protected from the corrosion. And the oxide layer whichever formed, or the product whatever formed, will be deposited on the surface of the cathode. You can consider the reaction here. At anode, the metal M releases the electrons and produces the Mn plus. And at cathode, the metal ion will accept the electrons and produces the metal. This is general reaction. It just at cathode, need not to be only the metal ion involved in the reduction process. It can be depends on the electrolyte, whether it is acidic or base or neutral. The reactions at cathode will vary, but at anode, the metal loses their metal ion. This is a common reaction. Let's discuss the mechanism of wet corrosion or electrochemical corrosion. So I told you there are two possibilities, that depending on which medium we are using, which type of electrolyte we are using, the metal may have two different types of electrochemical corrosion, that is hydrogen evolution and oxygen absorption. Whatever may be the cathodic reaction, the anodic reaction is same, simple, that is metal produces a metal ion and releases the electron. Hydrogen evolution. This generally hydrogen evolution occurs whenever metal is in contact with the acidic environment. And the acidic environment releases H plus ion. And if you take the reaction here, I took the example of iron rusting. Iron will releases the 2 electrons and produces Fe plus 2 ions. And the 2 electrons which are produced will transfer towards the cathode, and the cathode, as our electrolyte is acid, it produces H plus ions and releases the H2 gas. So as hydrogen gas is evolved here, this type of mechanism is considered as hydrogen evolution. And here you can consider in such case where hydrogen evolution is taking place, there will be small cathode and larger anode. In such conditions, this type of reaction is also favorable. Anode is larger and cathode is small. Another type of mechanism is oxygen absorption. Generally, this takes place in neutral or alkaline environment or basic environment, where the iron anode, the reaction at anode is simple. Iron releases Fe plus 2 electrons, and the 2 electrons which are released are accepted by oxygen gas and the water, and it produces the OH minus ions. This Fe+2 can further react with the counter ion, whatever, depending on the electrolyte, whatever we took, and just converts into their respective salt form, and further it corrodes and produces the final rust. And in this reaction, Fe+2 and 2 electrons are produced. And comparing to the um, acidic medium and the basic or alkaline medium, the corrosion of a metal is more rapid in case of acidic medium only. In case of the oxygen evolution, sorry, oxygen absorption, there will be small anode and larger cathode. The oxygen absorption reaction will be favored whenever the anode is small and the cathode is large. And let's see the basic differences, whatever we discussed till now. That is, the dry corrosion occurs under dry condition, means in absence of the moisture, only with the environmental gases. Electrochemical corrosion is here, there is a involvement of moisture along with the metal, and the corrosion here in case of dry is uniform, here it is not uniform. And compare the rate of corrosion reaction, it is very slow. In case of chemical, it is rapid. Electrochemical is rapid, and it involves direct chemical attack of a metal by the environment. Here, there are number of electrochemical cells are formed in the electrochemical corrosion. And it is explained by the absorption mechanism, and it is explained by the mechanism of electrochemical reaction. And it occurs both in homogeneous and heterogeneous, the chemical one, and it generally the electrochemical corrosion takes place in a heterogeneous solution only. Here the corrosion products are developed at the place where the corrosion takes place, but here in case of electrochemical corrosion, the products are deposited on the cathode. So that we are using that word. Always, the two dissimilar metals are connected. In such a case, the one which is acting as anode should always undergo corrosion, and the one which is acting as cathode will always be protected. We will discuss next topic in my next video. Thank you.